86 days of resistance under relentless Russian siege and bombardment, outnumbered 5 to 8 times, 2,000 Ukrainian soldiers from Azov Brigade defended the city. Stanislav was among them. On April 15th, during a breakthrough attempt, he was severely wounded in an artillery strike in front of Azovstal.
About 100 of us took part in the infantry assault on Azovstal. I remember the shelling, so loud. Then I saw my hand was almost torn off, hanging by a tendon. I asked a comrade for his small knife and cut it off myself.
It is hard to imagine, but he survived, ending up in one of Azovstal's bunkers, Ukraine's last stronghold during the siege of Mariupol. In May 2022, when defenders were ordered to surrender, Stanislav was taken to Russian penal colony in occupied Olenivka, notorious for brutal tortures. He spent 42 days there and was lucky. He missed the deliberate Russian strike on the colony that killed at least 50 Ukrainian soldiers just a month later. That's how he recalls Captivity.
The conditions were inhuman. Everyone knows that. I had an amputation, so they didn't subject me to the worst torture, but it was terrifying to hear my comrades' screams. How cruelly they were treated. I am afraid I'm not ready to speak about it on camera. Every morning at 6 we were forced to line up and sing the Russian anthem.
After everything he has been through, I asked Stanislav about possible territorial concessions as the US pushes Ukraine for a peace deal. And last week, President Volodymyr Zelensky said the compromise would be to freeze the front lines where they stand.
I do not agree to any territorial concessions, for example, but fully aware of the complexity of the situation, we understand that until we stop the Russian advance, no negotiations or agreements can take place.
Stanislav was accompanied by his Polish colleague Robert, who decided to join the Ukrainian armed forces just days after Russia launched its brutal war.
I previously served in the Polish army and felt strong enough to take on such a task. But above all, what motivated me to go to Ukraine was seeing women and children crying in the streets. It was at that point that I made my final decision.
Robert took part in Ukraine's counter-offensives in historic battles, including the liberation of Bucha, Irpin.
Seeing dead civilians in the streets was obviously unpleasant, but it was also a major motivation for me to continue my mission. If Ukraine falls, what I saw in Bucha and Irpin could potentially happen in Poland as well.
According to the latest estimates, more than 8,000 foreign volunteers have joined Ukraine's armed forces. Robert was awarded a state medal presented by Ukrainian ambassador to Poland, Vasyl Bodnar, who told TVP World that this support is crucial and appreciated.
We are grateful for all the volunteers who participated in defending Ukraine, because they are also keeping the war out of their homes. Unfortunately, there are dozens of people with Polish descent or with Polish passports who unfortunately died during the military activities in Ukraine, defending our joint freedom.
Anastasia Yanchenko, TVP World.